Dang, man, I feel like I've been wearing hats like every single episode. Maybe it's time to just see what the natural. Okay, never mind. There's an all-new dance move coming soon near to you in the markets, the hottest, coolest, and hippest places in town this summer. Welcome to an all-new episode of Full Circus with your host, Tristan Sartoris. Yeah, come on out. Hey, guys, my name is Tristan Sartoris. Welcome back to the show. I hope you guys are having a beautiful weekend, or at the very least, a great kickstart off to the weekend. So happy to have you guys here with me. What am I doing, dude? What am I doing? I told myself I was going to slow down like 3 seconds right before I started the podcast. I said, Tristan, you're going to take a moment to breathe and breath and ponder and think about your sentence structure before you start speaking, and so you be sure you're rambling and make sure you have the proper cadence and conversation in place. And even while I'm still talking about rambling, you probably still can't even understand what I'm saying because I'm still at supersonic speed. But breaks, guys. I need to slow down. I need to slow down. Okay. Now, if you're new to the show, you wouldn't know that I've been trying to work on this. You wouldn't be able to tell at all, judging by the first minute. And if you've been around, you still probably wouldn't be able to tell, judging by the first minute, because I haven't really worked on it at all. And that's a problem, but I've mentioned like a million times, like, hey, dude, I'm going to figure this out. Trust me, I'm going to get it. I'm going to break it down, my cadence. I'm going to figure it out at my own speed. But I just haven't, dude. I'm like, you know what? It's my podcast. I'll do as I please. It's me. I'll talk how I want to. But you know what? The reason this is in my head again is because I was taking a call for that sales job, and they wanted to just kind of go over my door approach and my door rebuttals and such, where you just kind of have these lines that you go through when you say it, and it's all rehearsed and whatever. And I went through it, right? I'm like, hey, my name is Tristan Sartoris. I'm working for Zozo and do this. And they're like, wow, okay, well, that was great, but slow down just a little bit because these seniors can't hear as fast as you speak. You understand? I was like, yeah, I get it. I moved at such a freaking, if there was one word to describe me, that would be it. Hey, Tristan? Yeah, well, I think so. Is that the kid with the brown hair? Yeah, but yeah, the brown hair, but he's the silly one, the goofy one. I know a few kids named Tristan. Is there anything else that maybe like a more distinct? He kind of. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, that's everybody knows. There's only one guy who can like that guy. But anyways, I'm Mr. What was I saying? I forget. Okay, yes, dude, I talk at such a speed and cadence because, one, I get super excited, but also my brain is in such a that, like, if I begin to slow down for even just a little bit, my freaking pantheon of imagination, creative ideas, and conversational points just everything just opens up, and I just see so many different things. So I'm thinking about dominoes or Mr. Potato Head or piggyback rides or freaking hay rides or anything else that has to do with rides, and I'm thinking about the carnival, and now I'm thinking about corn dogs. My brain just keeps on rolling and spinning like it's a lottery, where they pull the balls in and go, hey, your number's 36, and I say bingo. I'm just all over the place. So if I begin to slow down, all these ideas hit me at once like a wave, like, talk about all of this. I'm like, okay. But yeah, so I can't do that. So it's hard if I try to slow down. So I try to stay speedy. I stay so I can just really stay on my line. It's like kind of like walking a tightrope. I'm like, okay, just stay with it. And like, whoa, if I begin to if you stop on a tightrope, I've never walked a tightrope before, but I imagine like if you're a unicycle, if you're walking a unicycle on a tightrope, if you stop moving, boom, you gotta go to one side. So if I begin to slow down, if I don't keep walking across these stones, if I stop on this rope, I go, let's go this way. And so it's hard for me to slow down and really get into this, average speaking pace because I'm in such a freaking lightning. Whoa, dude. See, I'm a boat full of energy, dude. Boat full. But anyways, yeah, that's who I am, dude. Mr. I'll tell you what, though, that call that I did take with them was nerve-wracking because it was completely by surprise, and I had been working, and I hadn't studied this crap, like, in days. And they called me up, they're like, hey, dude, can you take a quick Zoom call, like a half hour or so? It'll be real quick. I'm like, yeah, dude, of course I could do a Zoom call. We'd already done a couple with them before, and it's basically just, I don't talk, I just sit back and listen, and they give you some wisdom and some advice. And I'm like, okay, great, I could do that. I could spare some time to do that. I open it up.
And like, hey guys, welcome back to the hot seat. So basically, we're gonna quiz everybody live on the spot, have everybody look at you and judge you, and we're gonna go through this some live action role play and see if you have everything down pat. I'm like, wait, what? So everyone else I look at, they're like studying their books, they got it, everything's memorized. I'm like, hold on a second. I had been doing. Whoa. Okay, yeah, fine. Here we go. I'm trying to look all confident, smooth, and suave, and ready to go, but I was not at all. And because I like to get places early, I got there just a 2-minute head start on everybody else. And they're like, okay, Tristan, because you got here first, we're actually going to let you go first and get the first round stuff. I'm like, okay. Backfire, thy name is Tristan. So I had to do that, and I was nervous, and I already told you the results of that. They're like, okay, slow down. The seniors can't hear. They hear slow. They're older age. They don't have the right amount of speed that you do. But anyways, yeah, I was kind of tripping over that, and I was like, frig, I knew that.
I knew that. Why can't I remember it?
I don't like it. I don't like being taken by surprise, because I'm surprised, dude. Surprised are surprising. That's why they call them a surprise, I bet. So yeah, that was nerve-wracking. That was scary. What else is going on, dude? Valentine's Day, dude. Valentine's Day. I'm already off. See that? I stopped for a second. We're moving on. They call me Mr. Vshh. Yeah, so Valentine's Day, dude. Valentine's Day, the season of love. Season of love, dude. If you got a significant other, you're giving out that love and affection and praise and all the things that come with that. But it's also hard for some people because it's the season of loneliness, right? The season of loneliness where you look around like, well, all these people are in these great relationships and such, and I'm here alone. And it can be pretty hard for people, but we look around and say, hey, it's not about these just two specific people that are having this beautiful and ceremonial time. It's also just good for love in general, right? If you got family, you got friends, you got a pet, it's just about love in general. And that's why they try and preach that, dude. Just go out and have some love. And sometimes it's hard to believe because the people who came up with that saying were probably lonely. But it's still true, dude. It's still true. And I would even argue, as someone who is alone on Valentine's Day myself, I don't even need other people, okay? Because I love me, some me, dude. You don't need your pets, you don't need your family or dog, and I know I'm just kind of speaking, just wash them out, but that's not what I mean. I'm just saying, love yourself, dude. A lot of times in these days, in this day and age, in this economy, in the world, we get pretty judgmental on ourselves, and we say, hey, you're not doing great in the hot seat, you're not doing great, and so you talk too fast or whatever, and we get pretty hard on ourselves. But I would say make this a day not just about love in general, but about self-love, dude. How often do you take a day that just self-love, just look at yourself and say, dude, I love you, man, I love you, you're great, you're awesome, you're handsome, you're beautiful, you're talented, and so on. Get yourself some nice chocolates, your favorite, because who knows you better than you, dude? Who knows you? Who's going to get you the stuff that you like, the stuff that you want on the day that you want it? Get yourself some flowers. If you don't like flowers, don't get flowers. Get yourself a Nerf gun, because that's way better. So you know what? Just treat yourself right. It's a treat yourself day. Just make this day about you, dude. This is about you. Have yourself some self-love, some self-compassion, and I throw the word narcissistic around a lot, and I mean it mostly in a joking way, but today, Valentine's Day, might as well just be a day of narcissism, and this could go really bad if people take this advice the wrong way, the wisdom that I'm trying to bestow upon you. But Mr. Vshh, I don't really hammer home all the points in the most intellectual way possible, but just so I can get through it however I feel like it. But anyways, I'm not really slowing down still. I need to make sure I try, but as I explained it, it's just whoa. Valentine's Day, it can be tricky, it's hard, but take this moment to just really think about yourself, dude. It sounds bad when you say that. If you got somebody, it's okay to love them too, but I'm just saying, dude, don't discount yourself. You're great, you're beautiful, you're awesome, man. Or woman, whoever's watching, doesn't matter. You guys are all great. You guys are all time, and just take some time to look at yourself and acknowledge that for yourself. Yeah, dude, I take a lot of self-love days. I try to, because I think I'm awesome. And, as we know, we can look around and say I'm pretty important here on the podcast, the only guy here. I'm on the camera. I feel good. I have a heightened, view of self-importance. And I think that's okay. And I think that works for me, man. You got to find out what works for you, because that's who I am. That's how I roll. That's what I like. But you got to do it inappropriate. Everything's in moderation. I find that sometimes I'll stray too far down the path of narcissism, and not actually narcissism, but, like really thinking about who I am and where my place is in the world. And there's been a couple times where I've like thought back, probably when I was like 15 or so, I was like, man, was like comedy around before I was born? Like, I was genuinely thinking this. I was like, did people actually have fun? Like, I've seen movies and stuff, and and people talk about it all the time, but like, were they actually happy? And this was a serious thought I was having at like 15, only for like a second, but I was just like, I actually had this thought. I was like, man, it's just hard to believe. Like, sure, they were funny, but were they as funny as they are now? And that's kind of the narcissism you gotta have, dude, on Valentine's Day. Maybe not all the time, and I try not to be that much, and I'm not actually. Everything's in a joking manner in case anyone's new to the show and you can't tell if I'm being, silly. But yeah, dude, it was that was an actual thought, and I wasn't actually 15. I was 8. Okay, fine. I'm being more truthful because that's what you gotta do. I shouldn't be, but I shouldn't have to clarify. I should be able to just roll through this. But in case you guys are getting the wrong idea, and then after Valentine's Day, they're like, wow, because sources out of Oregon State are saying there's a heightened freaking case of narcissism going on. No one's opening doors for other people. People are only focused on themselves, and it can be traced back to the single podcast where the kid said at 15 he thought that he was better than everyone, and comedy originated with his birth. And he told everyone to be just like him, and now we have this huge uprising of selfish douchebags. And I don't want that. So I do have to clarify and be honest with you guys. But Mr. Vshh. So I just got to keep on moving on. So I can't even, we're moving on. We're thinking about it. We're thinking about different things. Hold on. I thought I had an interesting thought. I got to go back to it real quick. Yeah, dude, frig. I had an interesting thought. And it was to be a narcissist and be your own Valentine. But Mr. Vshh doesn't stop to look at his own notes, his sentence structure, and the things that he laid out for the podcast ahead of time, because Mr. Vshh just goes through whatever he wants to do. He doesn't think about it, does he? No. So now I'm screwed. Now I don't have an interesting thought for the podcast. But you know what? We're just going to do the jingle anyway because I forgot to get on my phone, so we're just going to acapella it again, but whatever. Let's get the details and the thoughts. These are my interesting thoughts. But so yeah, guys, I don't have an interesting thought because I already did it, but I'll tell you what, because I am Mr. Vshh, and if I stop talking, we go somewhere else. I'm just going to take a minute, I'm going to breathe, and I'll tell you, hey guys, you know what interests my brain, what interests me today? Let me tell you something real quick. You know when you were a kid, dude, and you used to be so confused, maybe you weren't, I'll tell you what it was I was confused by. People always making me wash my hands all the time before you had to eat, dude. Hey, go wash your hands. We're about to go eat dinner, go wash your hands. Go wash your hands. And I get it, like you don't want any germs, but I was always a little kerfuffled. I was a little confused because I was like, I'm the one eating the food. Right? It's like, hey, go wash your hands. And even sometimes now, like, hey, did you wash your hands before you eat? It's like, why? I'm not putting the food in your mouth with my grubby little hoofs. So I was always like, why? What's the big deal? Why can't I, no matter where my hands have been, why can't I pick up these grapes and these freaking greasy chicken fingers that we just got from KFC, which probably aren't that clean in the first place? What's the big deal? So I was always confused about that, man, and that's a childhood interesting thought. We brought it all the way back, Mr. Vshh. I'm probably gonna name the episode that, but I don't know how I'm gonna spell Vshh. But yeah, that was a pretty pickle. And I still don't know what the answer was, and maybe the parents want to explain that to me because it's like, dude, I get it if you're like a younger age, you're trying to protect your kids, but now, I believe I should be trusted to make my own disgusting decisions. But yeah, guys, that was my thought of the week. Actually, it was just of the second because I stopped talking. We let my brain wander. Yeah, what else has been going on, dude? The coaching, dude. I was doing the coaching with my aunt. I talked about this before, and why am I not slowing down, guys? I mean, I've talked about it. Like, I told you why I can't slow down, but I still need to practice it. I talked about my aunt's coaching session on the podcast before, and, so basically we were going through these things and she was helping me out, and I was talking about some things I was thinking about, interesting thoughts that weren't related to grubby fingers, but just, okay, dude, I don't know how long it has not been recording, so that sucks, but I am ready to get right back into it. I don't know when it stopped again, so I do know I was talking about my aunt's coaching thing, but I don't know how far we were into it, so I guess I'll just start back from the beginning. So basically, I do know I was talking really slow. So basically, I was doing a once-a-week coaching session with my aunt, where we just kind of like talk through some things I want to improve on and get through, and it was kind of just this mutual benefit because she needs these practice reps to work on and coach and get back in the swing of things. And I was like, yo, I'll take some free wisdom and advice. So we're going through this stuff, and unfortunately, this past week I had been having a great time. Okay, I was having no stress, no tension, no nothing, and so we get into this call. It's like, okay, what can we work on? How can we enhance? What can we do? What can we have this? What can we do to grow from this? And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of on cloud 9.5 right now, which is unfortunate for you, but awesome for me. So I don't know what to do. So I was feeling pretty bad because this was supposed to be like a rehearsal and practice thing for her that she could send to people, and it's recorded and get critiqued and improve upon it, whatever, for her. And I was like, oh no, I what can I do to help? I was trying to think. I was like, there was one point in the week where I was like kind of getting stressed about this one thing, and before I could finish what I was saying, she's like, okay, let's talk about that. And she didn't want me to spoil the rest of the conversation so we could record it and have this genuine interaction. And by doing so, I had not gotten the chance to mention that I had completely solved all of my problems. So she was just trying to have this actual freaking realistic conversation, not be rehearsed or anything like that or reenacted. But it was just a miscommunication thing. So we're like, okay, let's hit record. Let's go through it. I'm like, okay, well, I can't really say anymore, so let's just go into it. And I should have just like said something else, but I didn't even think it. I was like, okay, I guess we're on the same page, but we weren't. So I start talking this thing. I keep talking about my whole like stressful situation. We're like, yeah, so basically I was thinking about this and that. And we're at like 15 minutes into this recording where I'm just speaking my truth, guys. I'm speaking my truth, what I'm stressed about. And she's just listening and thinking about like, okay, well, where's the hook? Like, where's the point where I jump in and we can kind of go into this thing together? And it keeps going to the point, like a whole circle. I'm like, yeah, so basically I come to the conclusion that I know how this works out and I'm happy and content with where I am. She's like, wait a minute, hold on. This is, what is this? Because she was supposed to be this whole professional recording that she was going to send in and blah, 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 and whatever. And I felt bad, but she's like, okay, wait, what are we doing? And I thought it was funny because I was like, oh, shoot. I mean, I also felt bad because I didn't mean to waste your time, but it was just this whole misunderstanding. And, what's more hilarious than misunderstandings? I mean, some other things, I'm sure, but I thought it was great. But yeah, hopefully with all my Mr. Vshh stuff and talking fast and working and whatever, I'll have something to talk about, something I want to enhance and grow upon this week. But last week it was just funny. So it was great. But yeah, I'm excited to do the next one. What else has been going on, dude? The news? I guess we could talk about the news. Here's the problem, is I always come into the show, I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about everything that I've done, everything I've thought about this entire week. And once I've done all that, I'm done. I'm just going to end the show because it's like I've exhausted everything I've done in the past 7 days, right? Now, the problem is sometimes I don't do a whole lot of stuff. And I get it. I'm pretty important. Like I said, okay, like I'm a pretty established figure here on the podcast, and we all want to hear what you boys up to. But I have neglected the fact that I can talk about other stuff. What's going on in the world, okay? The news. And not like the regular news, like the political news. Everyone's like, oh, you freaking give me the left-wing news. Oh, give me the right-wing news. I'm like, no, we don't care about the freaking wing news. If you only like subscribing to one wing, you're flying into Circle Jack, okay? So I don't care about that stuff. I don't want it. I know I should be, informed about it, but I'm just not there in my life yet. So that I don't really care. But you know what news I do care about? The stuff that I shouldn't be informed about. That's the stuff I like. The stuff that has no relative consequence or context or importance in my daily life. That's stuff I like to know about, right? Like if someone finds like a message in a bottle 95 years later, someone like has the Guinness World Record for the most bottle caps, someone holds a Christmas tree on their chin for an hour and a half straight and breaks another world record, or someone finds their long lost dog who was actually just in their neighbor's yard for the past 3 months. That is the stuff I like to listen to and read about because I like the coincidental stuff. It's fun. Or it's strange and it's odd, and that's the stuff that brings me joy. Those are my kind of. If I had a news channel like that, a freaking Fox News or something like that, was just like all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, wow, man, this freaking dog can do a handstand and be on a unicycle. It's insane. Like, wow, we need more of this. Give me some more of this freaking awesome stuff. And now like, well, Jim, there seems to be a fire down the 8th Street and a corner of 9th, and it looks like there's 3 bird bodies. But anyways, back to you with the weather. That's not what I want to hear about. I would like to hear, hey, Tristan Sartoris here. We've actually found a clown who's been climbing out of a sewer, seems to be collecting comic books, but we went down and visited his lair. He's been running a coffee shop for the past 6 months where everybody's a stand-up, and they all sing show tunes and sea shanties. It's amazing. If we go down here, actually, it's a really beautiful thing. And I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. Now, all this is made up. None of this is true, but the point of the story is I like weird stuff. So I was getting my daily dose of news, which most people will be like, that's not news. But I was looking at Jeff Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos is the big Amazon dude. He's been building a yacht. Well, not him, but he's been making this yacht that's been bigger than a yacht, right? He's like, this yacht isn't big enough for me. I need a bigger yacht, sir. Give me a bigger. So he's been like, it's under this construction. It's this whole like $500 million, 500-foot long, they call it a mega yacht. A mega yacht. Can you believe that, dude? Imagine being so rich. They're like, hey, I don't like this yacht. This yacht's too small. I need a bigger yacht. Big yacht's too big. I need. You know what? Let's make our own yacht. Let's make our own freaking big thing. So they made a mega yacht. A mega yacht. I didn't even know. I don't know if that sounds more like some sort of weird oceany supervillain where you're just like out on the bait and tackle shop, like, whoa, look out for the mega yacht. And people like trying to fish, like, oh, here comes mega yacht, and he drives past in the waves, scaring away the fish. Screw you, mega yacht. Or it sounds more like a mystic folk tale, right, where someone's like out in the country in the waters, and like, what was. And dude, why do people also, real quick side note, why do people like in cartoons or movies or something like that, they like brush their eyes like their knuckles are windshield wipers? Like, what is that? Huh? Like that's gonna be the difference thing. Like, whoa, has anything ever been more clear by you sticking fingers in your eyes and then like, oh, it's a mega yacht, but it's like people are like, oh, what is that? And they run back to their little village country house in the woods and they bust open the doors and go, Papa. I don't know what I saw out there, but it was this yacht. But it wasn't like a normal yacht. It could only be described as a super yacht or even a mega yacht. I don't a mega yacht. And it's like fear in his eyes, and his father would just be like making some soup and go, psh, psh, get a hold of yourself, boy. You know as well as I do that the laws placed on man as well as the physics and the mechanical engineering makes that an impossibility out on the waters. You know that. Now grab the net. We're going to go find Bigfoot. And that's just kind of what's happening in my mind. Is people are like, whoa, and people are like, whoa, it's like the Loch Ness Monster. It's like, yo, is that a mega yacht? I've heard stories of the mega yacht. Anyways, that's a whole big side note. So he's working on this mega yacht. And so he's trying to go through Amsterdam and Dutch and these play pieces and places or whatever. And apparently his voyage is supposed to go under a bridge, right? And it's this century-old bridge. I believe they called it the Hef or something like that. It's a famous bridge for the Dutch. And the problem is his ship, his mega yacht, is too big. Like, what do you do when it's like, hey, dude, this thing you can't fit in here? When you're someone else, you say, oh crap, I gotta go somewhere else. I can't do this. I gotta go around and go somewhere else, especially if it's a monument. But not Jeff Bezos, dude. He contacted the authorities and whoever that they are deconstructing the bridge to remove it for his yacht because it's too big. Dude, imagine going to a McDonald's parking, like a drive-thru or whatever. It's got the little overhaul. It's like, whoa, truck's too big. You can't use the drive-thru. You go through there and you're like, hey, actually, I'll give you $20. Someone take that down. It's a different example, but you're like, hey, take that down. I still want to go through this. You just make your own path. You make your own way. And so the Dutch are not having it, dude. That's the moral of the story. And so I was reading about it. And I don't know how interesting or funny this is to you, but this is my news. This is what I like to read about. This is what I like to know. So these Dutch people, they're like, whoa, this is Jeff Bezos guy. He's removing our freaking century-old bridge. This is preposterous. And so there's like 15,000 people who are like organized for when he passes by with his mega yacht through this bridge that they're like, all right, everybody, we're going to throw, I don't know what the Dutch sound like. We're going to throw rotten eggs at Jeff Bezos and big sheep. And Yeah, so they organized 50,000 people. Rotten eggs, dude. Rotten eggs of all the things you could throw. These Dutch get down and funky. They don't put up with anybody getting rid of their bridges. So like, yeah, we're going to organize this whole thing. Everybody line up on the trenches. Of all the things you could throw, paint or just trash or anything. Like, yeah, we're going to get actual eggs and we're just going to store them in our fridge for as long as it takes for them to go rotten. So they're really committed to this thing in the first place. Like, hey, oh, God. What is that smell? It's like, oh, so anyways, there's a big sheep coming by. I don't know how to do a Dutch accent, but and we're going to throw eggs at the sheep. Good idea, yes? And she's like, yeah, good. So yeah, they're basically just lining up like for freaking trenches, ready, aim, fire, and it's gonna be a freaking nightmare. I don't know what this guy's gonna do about rotten eggs. Probably just have a bunch of umbrellas or something. But it's these Dutch don't mess around, dude. You want to move a ship, you get hit with the rotten eggs. And an interesting thought number 2, dude. I used to think that rotten eggs were just chickens, dude, because I just like, what happens like an egg, maybe not from a grocery store, but maybe like a rotten egg, like an egg, if it's not eaten at the proper time, then it just hatches. That's how I always thought of rotten eggs. So it's like, hey, I imagine the guy Jeff Bezos is gonna know about this, and he's still gonna go under through this bridge. So he's asking for trouble. I don't know how he's going to remedy this. He's probably going to have a bunch of people holding the umbrellas, or, someone comes out to him and is like, hey, Mr. Jeff, Mr. Bezos. Hey, Bezos. I don't know what they call him, his right-hand man. Bezos, Mr. Bezos, Sir Bezos. What is it, Chauncey? And I don't know what Jeff Bezos sounds like actually either. So, he's really just on pace for the Dutch with me. But yeah. Guys, by the way, it is like 3 a.m., so if I'm like rambling or not, I could end the podcast, but I won't. I'm going to keep talking about this for just a few more minutes. He would come in there and he'd be like, yo, Chauncey, what do you speak of? And he's like, yeah, the Dutch are lining up. I just got word. There's 15,000 of these guys with rotten eggs. Rotten eggs. What do you mean rotten eggs? You mean chickens? He's like, no, rotten eggs. They've had this in their fridge for like a month, and they're ready to unleash it, uncork it on your mega yacht, sir. And there's nothing he can do. I don't know what he's gonna do. And poor Chauncey's gonna have no clue. And Chauncey is also the most. Is there a more right hand, like second in command name than Chauncey or Charlie? I've never met anyone, so I'm really just speaking to the ether here, the freaking out. Guys, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning into the show. If you got rotten eggs, get ready to line them up, because Jeff Bezos will not get away with this. Not the bridge, not his ship, not his mega yacht. Gosh darn it. I'm with the Dutch. I don't know anything about this situation except I want to be a part of it. So that's great, and that's the season of love, dude. That's the season of love. Love yourself, love throwing eggs at people and all the things in general. But anyways, I need to tune out. It is late. I do love you guys, and I'll see you on Valentine's Day. See you guys. It's late. What am I talking about? Peace.